Hey everybody, what's going on? This is my first time streaming in a long time, so I just wanted to touch on what's going on with the crypto market. I also want to make sure that the stream is healthy. So if you're chatting, please let me know if you can hear everything okay with audio, quality of video, stuff like that. So I'll give it a minute here to have some people come onto the chat, and I'll actually send this out as well to the rest of the channel. And also Instagram and a couple other mediums, just so people know that I am streaming. So it looks like we have 34 viewers on the stream, which is great. This is actually okay. Perfect. Everyone is saying I can hear everything fine, loud and clear. Perfect. Awesome, guys. So now that I know that technically everything is doing well in the stream, what I wanted to do was I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening in the crypto markets. This obviously isn't a crypto-focused channel, but I have been following crypto for about 1.5 years now. What I do want to talk about is some of the factors of why this is happening and why we're kind of selling off right now. But ultimately, I'm reading some of these chats that are kind of funny. But ultimately, I just want to bring some solace back into everyone's investment thesis and also why we're investing in the first place. So this is actually a screenshot of my Coinbase Pro. It is a little bit hard to read, so I will come here just very quickly to Coinbase in general. There's coinmarketcap.com. There's a bunch of different channels and a bunch of different websites that we can go to, but this one is the easiest. So if we take a look at here, you can see here that almost every single coin today has pretty much sold off, okay? So early in the morning when I first checked this, coins were down 20, 30, 40%. It was crazy. And now they're all kind of starting to creep back up, which is good. But I think a lot of this has to do with basically some of the bigger whales in the space, and I think a lot of it has to do with institutional investors. So you can see like the BlackRocks of the world. Pretty much this all started with Elon Musk's tweet, which I did cover last week. And he's been kind of on a tweeting rampage, and it's kind of hurt Bitcoin overall. So when I made my Elon Musk, just crashed the Bitcoin market or crashed Bitcoin video last week, that's because he was coming out with a bunch of FUD and he was just tweeting stuff that, in my opinion, you should already know as an investor of Bitcoin. So he's talking about how proof of work uses energy. Most of the hash rate is controlled by miners in China, even though, in my opinion, in my research, I've learned that 70% of Bitcoin mining is coming from renewable resources. But I digress. So anyway, you can see here that he tweeted about 2 hours ago that Tesla has diamond hands, and he's saying credit to our master of coin. So I think at this point, this guy is just kind of trolling. And you can see here what's trending on Twitter is buy the dip. So you can see here last week he tweeted a bunch of stuff, and he actually deleted a couple tweets. You can see here was don't panic. Working with Doge developers to improve system transaction efficiency, potentially promising. To be clear, I strongly believe in crypto, but it can't drive a massive increase in fossil fuel use, especially coal. Like, come on, dude. So anyway, I wanted to recap and just say that I wanted to remain positive because I think positivity is good. But at the same time, if you know me, you know that I'm a realist, and you know that I've been investing for a long time now, for about 15 years. And I think you need to look at everything with a grain of salt. So first of all, why did you get into these trades to begin with, right? So I've been investing in Bitcoin for about 1.5 years now. I've been dollar cost averaging every week, but that only came after many hours of studying and due diligence and really understanding what it is. So before I get into this rant, let me just check the chat real quick. I can see a lot of these are so funny. Okay, so someone is saying, would you buy Tesla right now? So I've actually never bought Tesla, and I know that's not what this stream is about, and I have my own reasons for that. So I don't want to go into too much digression. Let's just stick to the topic. But very quickly, what I wanted to say was you need to understand what you're investing in the first place. So I'll be the first one to admit that I truly believe that 9 out of 10 coins on the market, there's about 7,000 altcoins now, I'd say 90% of those are straight up poop coins, okay? They are designed to literally take your money, okay? It's a zero-sum game. The creators either realize your US dollar value into their checkbooks, or they use it to buy more stable coins, such as Bitcoin, for example. So if you followed me for any period of time, you know that I've recommended the Bitcoin Standard. I've recommended a bunch of different other books and resources specifically on Bitcoin. I'll be the first to admit that, a majority of my portfolio is Bitcoin. However, I have been buying Ethereum, and I've also been buying Cardano over the past few months. So I bought Ethereum when it was right around $400. That was back in November. And I've seen, 10x on that trade. Not so much right now at the time of this recording, because you can see the market cap right here has actually decreased by about 18% over the past 24 hours. However, what I would say is that understand what you're buying in the first place, right? If you don't have conviction in your trade and you don't know what you're buying or why you're buying it, you're going to sell immediately. You're going to end up pulling a Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, buying Bitcoin and selling it right away. So you can see right now, if I can zoom in here, this is live. This is Coinbase Pro. You can see that this wall is getting knocked down very quickly, okay? So I believe Bitcoin, if I go to just the 24 hours here, let me click on it, open it up. You can see over the past 24 hours, it hit a low of $30,000, if you can see that. And that was at 9 o'clock this morning. Since then, it's gone up about $12,000 to $42,000. And you can see on Coinbase Pro exactly what it's doing right now. So typically the market follows Bitcoin and what it does. So if you take a look at all the other altcoins, if I go back here and just go to prices on Coinbase, you can see that everything is starting to trend up again, okay? So the reason for that is because I think Bitcoin really is kind of like that pristine asset. It's almost like a digital gold, if you will. And what that does, the market typically follows. So if I go back to Coinbase Pro and just kind of get back on my little spiel, I'll just leave it up here as I talk. You have to realize what you bought when you bought it, okay? So if you're buying something to hold as a percentage of your portfolio or as a percentage of your net worth, then you have conviction to stay in that trade, right? So again, this is not a crypto channel. However, crypto is about 15% of my net worth, if not a little bit more. And I will highlight what I did with crypto over the past 2 weeks or so. I actually did sell out of my initial cost basis in all my coins, whether it was Bitcoin, whether it was Cardano, whether it was Ethereum, because I realized huge gains, like 4-figure percent gains, like 1,000% plus. And what I did was I took my money off the table, divested from my initial cost basis, and now, this blip doesn't even bother me. I'm just playing essentially with house money, if you will. So what I want to say was understand what you're investing in. Otherwise, you won't have the conviction to stay in the trade. First and foremost, you have to look at your net worth as a pie. So if you think of it as a pie, think of what percentages you want in each asset class. So whether it's crypto, real estate, stocks, bonds, equities, whatever, beanie babies. It just depends on what you want to invest in. You have to look at each percentage of the asset class as an overall portion of your net worth, okay? So crypto, I have 15% of my net worth. It grew to be much more than that, which is why I took money off the table to get rid of my initial cost basis. And now I'm essentially playing with that house money, if you will. So if I go to my profile of my tweets here, I kind of quote tweeted this. This was from May 10th. So if you take a look at this, some people will say, they'll make fun of me. They'll say I had paper hands, lettuce hands, whatever. May 10th, I took out all of my initial cost basis and all of my crypto investments, and I'm essentially playing with house money. Some people don't like that phrase, house money, but that's just my quick way of explaining to you that I took out my cost basis. I have no skin in the game. Whether it goes to zero or whether it 10x's from here, it doesn't matter to me, right? I'm not losing any money. So I was early for this cycle. So if you remember, I was recommending, Bitcoin a year and a half ago, right? This isn't financial advice. I'm just saying, based on my due diligence, I've been buying Bitcoin ever since I read the Bitcoin Standard and read a bunch of articles by Vijay Boyapati, Will Clemente, Pomp, everybody, all the influencers in the space. So there's a lot of real smart people in the space. So I've been a Bitcoiner for a long time. However, what started to gather my attention was things like, Ethereum, Cardano. There's a big push for proof of stake, which in my personal opinion could lead back to central banking to begin with. But at the same time, that's not to say that these coins won't be adopted, okay? So I have conviction in these trades. So the people that are getting shaken out right now, in my personal opinion, are the people that are just gambling, right? So these are your degenerate gamblers. These are the people that are just simply, buying crypto because they want to get rich. They're FOMOing into these trades, right? So if you look at all these, people are getting their butts kicked right now because they never had conviction in the first place because they didn't do their due diligence, right? Everything comes from education. Once you become educated and once you understand what you're really investing in, the rest is simple. So after I got done with my little spiel of explaining to you the pie, or that, if you think of like a pizza pie, allocate a certain percentage of your net worth to whatever you're investing in. So again, 15% of my net worth is dedicated to crypto. It became a lot higher than that. I decided to shave off that position, stay in touch with that 15%. The reason for that is because if your position sizing is too big, you're going to FOMO out of a trade, okay? Or better yet, you're going to crap yourself and sell once you see these 10, 20, 30, 40% dips because you didn't know what you were buying in the first place and you didn't have a game plan to act on that. So with all this being said, the reason I'm keeping 15% of my net worth in crypto is because if every single one of my coins or if every single one of my holdings went to zero, it doesn't bother me. I can sleep at night. I can risk, X amount of dollars, let's call it 15% of my net worth, to make exponentially or asymmetrically much more than that, okay? So if my sleep at night number is 15%, now if I'm at 25% of my net worth or 50% of my net worth, then I wouldn't be able to sleep well at night, right? I'm overexposed. I'm over allocated in a certain asset class. So that's why I keep it at 15%. So let's take a look at some of the stuff here. I'm actually going to tweet. If anyone knows how to share like live stream, hold on, let's see here. We recommend that you use a stream rate of 4,500, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, let me fix this. Actually, I don't want to mess anything up. If you guys can see everything and hear everything okay, I'm just going to stick with it. Okay, let me read some of these comments very quickly, guys. So Bitcoin, you're buying currency for black market trade. That is absolutely incorrect. That is mainstream media FUD. I never understood that, you guys. So when people say when you buy Bitcoin or whatever, you're buying it for black market trade, like how unintelligent are you to say something like that? In my personal opinion. What do you think the U.S. dollar has been used for? The U.S. dollar funds wars, it funds drug trade, it funds child trafficking. People use money, okay? They use dollars, they use cash. What do you think they used before all of this? So to say that Bitcoin is some like black market currency, that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. That's like a very fundamentally easy thing to just disregard. So dude wouldn't wear a mask, Elon, 10% in crypto. Yeah, speculating. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to touch on this article right here. This came out May 19th. It's by Will Clemente. But before I do that, I think a lot of these people are writing trends on YouTube and writing trends on social media. They were never truly interested in the crypto space to begin with. They're not truly, Bitcoiners or Ethereans or, Cardano users or whatever, coin you want to use. A lot of this is greater fool theory, in my personal opinion. So this backs up the whole point of this video is basically the reason we're seeing this huge sell-off is because once there's some bad news, such as China banning Bitcoin, which they've tried doing in 2013, 2017, they're trying to do it again now. You can't ban it first and foremost. Secondly, once you hear that FUD, you're selling off, right? Because you're crapping yourself. Elon Musk makes a tweet, I'm selling it. China's banning this, I'm selling it. India's banning that, I'm selling it. Well, you never really understood what you were investing in the first place once you're doing that, okay? So that goes back to my original point is when you have due diligence, perform due diligence, once you understand what you're investing in and are educated, the conviction comes naturally. So to me, I woke up this morning, saw that Bitcoin was down, 20, 30, 40%. I didn't even bat an eye. I couldn't care less. It doesn't matter because I know what I bought, okay? So at the same time, what I want to piggyback on is capitulation. So once you see capitulation, it's almost like a viral video, right? Oh, my buddy sold, it's selling off, I'm going to sell off, right? I'm scared. So let's dig a little bit into this article right here. This is Bitcoin specific, but we'll get more into the broader market as we go here. So this is written by Will Clemente III. Will Clemente, he's a young kid. He's 19 years old. I respect him. He reminds me a lot of me when I was younger. He's getting a finance degree right now. He's in college. Basically, his analysis and his philosophy is very similar to mine. So very humble, seems like a good dude, right? So let's go through this real quick. So dear readers, hope you're all hanging in there. It's been quite a morning. I usually preface these with a little intro paragraph about price action, but I don't think that's necessary today. Let's get into it. Firstly, I want to say that previously I'd said we were at or close to a bottom. I was obviously wrong. This is one of the deepest bull market corrections Bitcoin has ever had. However, the broader bull market still remains intact in my opinion. So the reason I'm talking about this on a crypto market video is because, again, a lot of these coins follow Bitcoin, okay? So whatever Bitcoin does, a lot of other altcoins do as well. So basically, let's dig further into this article. So exchange flows have turned short-term bearish, the highest of which they've been since the March 2020 crash. This seems to have started following the Elon tweets and drama, and it will take some time for these coins to find a new home. So if you don't know what you're looking at here, this is basically all Will does is do on-chain analysis, and this all comes from Glassnode. So this isn't the same as technical analysis in stocks where people are just drawing lines on charts and trying to make sense of it, aka horoscopes for men, right? That's what technical analysis is, in my opinion. But this is on-chain analysis. This is what coins are being held for how long. You can see the inflows, you can see the outflows, you can see wallets that have never sold before that are still gobbling up Bitcoin, right? So that's just a example of Bitcoin and on-chain analysis. So you can see here that this is the net transfer of volume from and to exchanges over the past 7 days, their moving average. So you can see here the green, it's kind of spiking a lot since March of 2020. It's one of the highest spikes we've seen. So with this being said, a liquid supply also had the largest increase since January of 2018, and investors are panicking. So you can see right here, hopefully you can see this on the live stream, basically increasing a liquid supply is green, decreasing a liquid supply is red. So we're seeing a huge spike here, just like when we saw in January of 18, January of 19, basically not September, but summer of 19, and then, March of 2020 here. So this morning's drawdown to $30,000 came amidst a massive liquidation event of over $300 million in a 10-minute period. So if you can't see the chart here, basically the yellow is the futures long liquidations. People are getting absolutely crushed here. And you can see the price in US dollars going down. So if you look at the price in US dollars at 9 a.m., that's where this x-axis is right here. 9 a.m. all the way to 1 p.m., almost at the time of this live stream, you can see that the price in US dollars absolutely plummeted, right? And it's coming back up now, but just when this chart was taken. And then the orange or the yellow, you can see here that the future long liquidations, meaning people that are using leverage, aka borrowing on margin to trade Bitcoin, they're absolutely getting liquidated and crushed. And this is a huge spike. This is $300 million right here at the peak of this spike, okay? So just real quick, just to check on the live stream, can you guys see me okay? Can you see the words okay? I just want to make sure that I'm not talking into the wind, So basically just let me know. And I'll monitor the live chat here. So the majority of coins selling are still young, aka newer market participants getting shaken out. This is shown by dormancy trending down, okay? So this is basically the entity adjusted dormancy, meaning things that are dormant, coins that are dormant. And then you can see the gray price right here, the gray line, which is the price right here. So back in November, you can see the adjusted dormancy going way down, and it's kind of leveled out throughout this bull market. And now it's kind of coming lower and lower. So you can see the short-term holder NUPL has crossed into the capitulation threshold for the first time since March 2020. Max pain is near, okay? So basically you can see here, I'm going to try and zoom in just a little bit more here, you guys, as much as possible without blocking the chart. You can see here that capitulation is typically red. So capitulating, and then you can see orange is hope or fear. Then yellow is optimism, green is belief and denial, and then blue or purple, whatever color that looks like to you, is euphoria or greed. So in this bull cycle, which basically started, I'd say in March of 2020, just like with the S&P 500 and the overall market as well, that started in March of 2020. We've still never hit the belief or euphoria phase, or the greed phase, if you will. So a lot of people that are way smarter than I am see Bitcoin going to basically 300,000 or 280,000 at the end of this cycle, which should be December. And then you have 3 more years of kind of just sideways or downward movement. And then hopefully in the next halving, which is April of 2024, that's when we're going to see, the next skyrocket. So I've done videos on all this stuff, you guys. I have so many videos on the halvening and all this stuff. But the problem is those videos didn't blow up like other crypto videos are now, is because I was honestly too early. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but now everyone wants to be in crypto. Everyone's crypto videos are blowing up, right? Well, if you need a YouTuber to tell you, what to invest in or what to do, that is 100% the wrong way to go about it. You can use them as a beacon or as someone to learn where the water is, but never invest based on someone else's recommendations. That would be stupid. You have to do your own due diligence, in my opinion. So going back to this chart, you can see the capitulation phase was basically in March of 2020 down here on the x-axis. And then we started to get out of it as obviously the price, starts to go up. So again, the price is this green, this gray line right here. And we reached kind of like max short-term NUPL to price right around here in February of 2021. And that's when we started to see the price kind of go down after that, after we hit 64K at one point. So in conclusion, there's a lot of panic selling from newer market participants. This seems to have started after the Elon saga. The market is currently in capitulation. Will take some time for coins to find a better home. This cycle is starting to look more like 2013, but of course, every cycle is different. The broader metrics are still intact, and then he'll touch on some of these in Friday's letter with Pomp. Just want to shoot you guys a quick update. I know this is a little unnerving for many, but the way I see it is that the volatility is the price you pay for the upside. So that's huge, you guys. I want to highlight this real quick. The volatility is the price you pay for the upside. So you have to realize that Bitcoin in general, or crypto in general, is an asymmetric bet. We are basically taking what is traditional finance and kind of turning it upside down on its head. And that's why I've decided to dedicate at least 15% of my net worth in crypto. This has been a pretty obvious trade, that it's a huge asymmetric bet, meaning that the upside is significantly higher than the downside. And going back to my analogy of the pie, as long as you are not overexposed and you're okay with that position going to literally zero and you're able to sleep at night, quote unquote sleep at night, then that is the position size for you to be in, right? If that's 100%, if that's 1%, that's completely up to you. I'm 33. I got a kid on the way. My wife is pregnant. I have other things to live for. If I was like 20 years old and I was making, decent money at my first big boy job after graduating from college or whatever, I'd have a much higher portion of my net worth in cryptocurrency. Keep in mind, there are a lot of crap coins. There are a lot of poop coins. I'd say 9 out of 10 altcoins are poop coins. That's why I simply hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. I feel like those are going to have a big part of the future here. But, I could be completely wrong about that. If you want to gamble and make some upside, there's a lot of money to be made in these doges and these, ass coins and cum rockets and all this stuff. That's just simply not something that I want to waste my time with. So check this out. I've personally been surprised by this move, but at this point, it's just going to take some time for the coins being panic sold to redistribute to stronger hands. Still bullish for the remainder of the year. Okay, so if we go back to this other email, this will actually, it's kind of interesting flipping back to this email. So this is Pomp's email. This was May 14th. So what happened to Bitcoin when Elon tweeted? So the reason... So this is actually Will's analysis, but the reason I wanted to highlight this is because it's interesting seeing an email from this morning, which is the one that I just went over, versus an email from about 5 days ago or so, okay? So but before I get into this, let me take a look at some of the chat here. That's why I only invest with ones with utility. Yeah, so you're talking about the coins with utility, right? So the issue I have with these meme coins is that a lot of them are straight up Ponzi schemes. A lot of them are straight up scams, okay? I am hugely against that. I even tweeted the other day that like the crypto space or just the finance space in general is just getting so slimy. And I know that sometimes these tweets come off as negative, but if you look at my Twitter here, this was after Portnoy said he was investing in like what was it? Yeah. So basically the Safe Moon, which is like a straight up scam in my opinion. So this dude tweets at 3:45, I will be announcing my new shitcoin that I have already bought and plan on buying more of every day to see if my allegiance can move markets. So this guy is literally saying, like, this guy has a huge following. This is Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports. He has 2.5 million followers. So how irresponsible is that, dude? So he's saying that he's literally telling you, I have already bought and plan on buying more every day to see if my allegiance can move markets. Literally market manipulation, right? So, you know, stuff like this is why I tweet stuff like this. Way too many charlatans in the finance space right now, mega slimy. So I'm not trying to be negative because I know people want to hear positivity, and I get that, and everyone's like a snowflake these days. But this is real life, you guys, okay? I lived through 2006. My portfolio got crushed. That was after The Big Short, right? That's what that movie was made after. I cannot stand slimy charlatans. I cannot stand snake oil salesmen. Please do not fall for a lot of these shit coins, okay? It's not worth it. So I'll get off my high horse here. So let's get into this analysis right here. So I hope you're all doing well and had a great week. At the time of writing, Bitcoin sits at $50,000. So I'll be the first one to admit that in my Elon Musk video, I thought the floor was 50 grand. So after he tweeted, it basically went from like high 50s, mid 50s to 50 grand. And I thought that was the floor. Okay. So I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong about something. And I was wrong about that. So we can see that the floor was obviously, will quickly hit 30,000. Now we're back up to about 40K, right? So if you look at this right here, you can see that the walls are coming down, but Bitcoin is kind of sitting at 40 grand. So I think that this could be the new floor, okay? And if we take a look at a much easier screen to read for you guys, you can see that Coinbase Pro is showing it at 40,000, and then Coinbase is showing it at 41. So I'll refresh that screen. Maybe it's delayed or something. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we can see that the floor is starting to become right around 40,000. So if I get into this email very quickly, it's interesting to go back and see the email from this morning and then the email from earlier today by Pomp, okay? So I hope you're all doing well and had a great week. At the time of writing, Bitcoin sits at $50,312 after hitting a weekly high of $59,500 on Monday and a low of $46,000 on Wednesday. So previous letters described a bullish setup, which still holds true based on fundamental investor activity. That is true. Again, that's coins being gobbled up by wallets that have shown no history of ever selling. So a lot more Bitcoin is coming off the exchanges every day, right? So let me continue. So, oh, sorry, guys. I see some chats here. Hey, real quick, guys, do me a favor. I rarely live stream. If you can please, I don't know how to do this because I haven't live streamed in years. Please copy this and put it on social media. Please just send it on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, just because I have no idea how to share this stream right now. And I don't want to take the time to pause from the stream to be able to do that. So please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, obviously. A lot of my followers are saying that they're not getting notifications from my channel. I think a lot of that has to do because I'm talking about the petrodollar and inflation and things like that, which is just reality. So please do me a favor and just please share this video if you can. So let's see here. So previous letters described a bullish setup, which still holds true based on fundamental investor activity. However, Wednesday's events may have put a damper on how immediate the end of this consolidation may come. We have a lot to discuss, so let's get straight into it. So let us first cover the elephant in the room, the Elon dump. First, there were 19,259 Bitcoin moved onto exchanges before Elon's tweet and ensuing price dump. I do not think this is coincidence, and it was likely someone with insider information. So if you look at the on-chain analysis, again, this is coming from Glassnode. This is on-chain analysis. This is not technical analysis. This is not just someone looking at a live chart. This is literally what's happening on-chain, okay? So if you look at the total transfer volume of exchanges, all exchanges, you can see in orange, the total transfer volume spikes right at 7 a.m., I believe. And then you can see it spike again on the 13th of May right at midnight, okay? And then you can see the price, you know, literally dropping right here at 6 p.m. once he tweeted that, okay? So if we keep going, Elon's tweet regarding the energy use of Bitcoin at 6:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time initiated a cascade of long liquidations. Again, people using margin to trade, you know, crypto or Bitcoin, okay? So you can see here, including a $208 million liquidation within a 10-minute period. This cascade of liquidations is why the price dumped down 46,000 and was so aggressive, okay? Guys, we're sitting at right around like 990 concurrent viewers. If you could please share this stream, I would definitely appreciate it. So you can see the future long liquidations, a huge spike right when he tweeted that. So look at all these people getting crushed. This is $208 million of liquidations. So I'll let you study this chart. Let me get a sip of this tea real quick. My wife made me this delicious like Tazo tea. It's so good. I don't know if it's like from Starbucks or whatever. You know, forget about Dave Ramsey and 20-cent iced coffee. This stuff is banging, dude. This is piff. So good with a little bit of honey. Forget about it. Okay, we just hit 1,000 concurrent viewers on the stream. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so another thing I wanted to say, do not trade crypto on margin. You are asking to be liquidated because once your limit order gets hit, you're done, dude. And once you have to pay for margin, you are done, okay, once you have a margin call. So don't, especially if you're trading Bitcoin, don't trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something that you buy and hold. It should be looked at as digital gold 2.0 in your portfolio. If you're trading, you know, shit coins, or if you're looking at like Ethereum or Cardano or whatever, I would hold on to those positions. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just simply what I'm doing in my own personal portfolio. But I highly recommend that you do not trade on margin or buy crypto on margin. The volatility is too high, you guys. I've seen people lose their shirts simply because they wanted to make quick gains. Another thing I wanted to talk about before I finish this email is BlockFi. They were accidentally giving people Bitcoin, okay, instead of whatever thing they're supposed to be compensated in. I think it was like a US dollar equivalent coin. And people were getting Bitcoin. They're selling that, okay? So now BlockFi is responsible for all that, but I digress, okay? So here's someone that just dropped $5. Thank you so much, Crypto Pirate 1776. While the oligarchs game the system and the normies panic, I'm buying crypto at the lowest price in a long while, just like Elon. LOL. That's smart, dude. If you have high conviction and you know what you're doing, that is definitely the way to go. This is the way, right? So take a look at this chart right here. You can see people getting liquidated like crazy because you see the price going down. And then you see this yellow right here, which is futures long liquidations, hit $208 million in 10 minutes. That's what that spike is, okay? So it's very interesting to see inflows to exchanges, which is presumed selling. So I follow this great account on Twitter right here. I think it's called Whale Alert. So this Twitter account right here called Whale Alert is awesome. So it's basically a bot that tells you when huge amounts of either dollars or stable coins or cryptos are being transferred from a certain wallet to basically an exchange. This guy says, do you read chat? I mean, I'm trying to present something real quick, but yes, I would love to read the chat just because you have been speaking the truth and saving lives. Thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate that, buddy. I should dislike this video because you have a Mac. That's funny. Okay, so let me zoom in real quick. So I digress from the email that I want to share, but this is important. So Whale Alert, all I've been seeing for the past like 2 months or so is Bitcoin specifically coming off the exchanges, okay? It's money coming off the exchanges, and if there's a supply cap, right, 21 million, that means the price is only going to go one way, right? So just hodl, you guys. Please, just hodl. Trust me. Okay, so you can see here that Tether is coming off. Ethereum, you can see from unknown wallet to unknown wallet, it's 65 million worth. You can see $500 million of Tether right there from the Tether treasury to Binance. But it's crazy. You can see a bunch of stuff here, but I digress. But follow Whale Alert if you don't. It's really good insight into what's happening in live time. So It's interesting to see inflows to exchanges, which is presumed selling, spike in the time before Elon's tweet. Okay, you guys, this is super valuable. Okay, so once you see this, you know that it's either someone who has the jump on what Elon's about to do or tweet, because the on-chain analysis doesn't lie, you guys. Okay, so you can see here. Excuse me, this Tazo tea is hitting you guys. My bad. I'm like burping on the live stream. That's embarrassing. I promise you, I'm not a savage. I'm just I got a dry mouth. So you can see here, followed by the net outflows ramping up after the event. This data makes a strong case for someone having insider information. Would be quite a coincidence to say the least, okay? So if you look at the on-chain analysis, this orange right here is the net transfer volume from and to exchanges. This gray is the price of, Bitcoin. So if you look at it, it's stable. And then all of a sudden, right here at 8 a.m., remember, Elon Musk tweeted at 6 p.m., okay? He tweeted at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This huge net transfer off the exchange right here, all the way up until 4 p.m., and then you can see it coming off the exchanges right here, okay? So speaking of exchange flows, one of the largest exchange outflows of the year took place amidst the pandemic, or excuse me, amidst all the panic. Over-the-counter outflows also spiked during the dip. It appears big money bought the fear. Okay, so that seems to be a trending topic, especially in Bitcoin, that big money or institutional money keeps gobbling up all these coins. So that's when weak hands sell, which happened this morning. When weak hands are selling, the strong hands and the wallets and the wallet addresses that have no history of ever selling, they're the ones that are holding Bitcoin, okay? And we'll get to other coins as well, but it's important that we get through these two emails first. The stream started about 35 minutes ago, so I appreciate you guys sticking through this. Let's take a minute just to read the chat, because you guys are chatting, and I this guy goes, dry mouth, Marco's smoking that good. Dude, I don't smoke weed. I have nothing against it, but I haven't smoked weed in a minute. I'm not going to incriminate myself on a live stream, but, in college, whatever. It is what it is. Cardano opinion. So I do hold Cardano. It's a speculative part of my crypto portfolio. My crypto portfolio, if you look at my net worth, is 15% of my net worth. It spiked up to about 20-something% once Bitcoin was at like 64,000. And then I decided to shave off a little bit once we got back into the high 50s in Bitcoin, right? Please stop with the rocket emojis. We're not 12 years old. I appreciate that. So, Marco, if 90% of coins are poop, which are the 10%? So you have to find utility first and foremost. So if the coin doesn't have utility, if it's not being used for anything, that's a shit coin, in my opinion. That's a poop coin, right? That's not to say you can't make money with greater fool theory, meaning that, hey, I bought Dogecoin for 30 cents. Someone else is buying it for 72 cents. I'm going to make my spread of, 42 cents on that trade, right? That's not to say that, greater fool theory isn't a thing, because it absolutely is. But when you look at utility with Ethereum, what they're doing with DeFi and all the things being built on Ethereum, I personally, I own Ethereum, but I'm a Bitcoin maximalist at heart. I'll always be the first one to admit that, just because I'm a big proponent of sound money. Sound money, when you fix the money, you fix the world, you guys. I'm blown away. We have 1,200 people on this live stream. I can't believe it. The algorithm hasn't been showing my videos for whatever reason. If you can please just copy the link to this live stream and paste it to Facebook, Twitter, whatever your social media is, I would greatly appreciate it. I may even grab my phone and go live on Instagram right now, but I don't want to interrupt the stream. So I missed 35 minutes of the gold, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so there's been a ton of value in the first 35 minutes of the stream. Once the stream is over, you can re-watch this at a later time. I'll keep this up on my channel. Do you think Shiba will recover? See, stuff like this, I can't speak intelligently about on like these Shibas and stuff like this, because to me, those are they have no utility. No one's using those for anything, right? Institutions and corporations are using Bitcoin as a store of value. Ethereum is DeFi. A lot of things are being built on top of the Ethereum network. There's utility to these coins. Cardano is a big proponent of proof of stake, which in my opinion can go back to what central banking is. So you're kind of not solving that hard money problem. So this says no data, you guys. Okay, cool. It's still going. My bad. I got alerted over here that the stream may have been interrupted. But as long as the coin has utility and purpose, then it's something worth looking into. Then, just like I would analyze a company, I would then look at who the horse and the jockey are. So the coin is the horse. Who is the jockey, riding the horse? Who is the team behind the coin, right? So my buddy was showing me this white paper the other day. It was literally written like it was for like a 7-year-old. It was very colorful, a lot of big emojis, like, just very, very like childish almost. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm some sophisticated investor with my nose in the air, sipping my Tazo tea with my pinky in the air, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the quality of these white papers has gone down significantly since 2017. And 2017 was rampant with poop coins, okay? So just be very wary of what you're investing in. If the team has a track record or a history of creating good technology or creating good things, and they are good actors, not bad actors in the space, then it's something, going worth down the checklist for, continuing your due diligence and peeling back more layers of the onion. Okay, so let's look at some of the comments. This guy goes, Marco, hair tutorial when? Dude, I'm telling you, man, this takes me 2 seconds, bro. What you do is you get a little damp, little Layrite. So I use the Layrite matte cream, okay? Layrite is Layrite, and I'm taking away from this channel. People are going to stop watching, but this is the hair regimen, you guys. It's simple. Little damp, little bit of Layrite, get it in there in the crevices, right? And then you just kind of, and then I just take a comb, and that's it. Simple. Takes literally 30 seconds. Okay, so now that I lost half my subscribers talking about hair care, let's get back to the chat. So how high do you think Doge will go? Doge is simply just greater fool theory, in my opinion. I have a video on this on my channel. The title is called Dogecoin to the Moon, the Truth. The cons far outweigh the pros, in my personal opinion, but that's not to say that you can't make money in it due to greater fool theory. So, but I know everyone wants to be positive. Everyone's snowflakes, so it has a really good chance of getting high. All right, so let's get back to this email real quick, because this is important. So speaking of exchange flows, one of the largest exchange outflows of the year took place amidst all the panic. Over-the-counter outflows also spiked during the dip. It appears big money bought the fear. Okay, so if you look at the total transfer volume from all the exchanges, these are your Binances, these are your Coinbases, these are your Krakens. There's a bunch of different exchanges out there, you guys. You can see it in yellow or orange, the total transfer volume is when it's spiking, and you can see the price in Bitcoin. So every time you can see the price going down, you see a spike in the transfer volume. Down, spike, down, spike, down, spike. And even on the way up in some of these cases. But, after these dips are getting bought, you can see here, these are huge spikes, you guys. That shows me that people still have strong conviction and that these are big volumes coming off the exchanges. So roughly $460 million of Tether was printed following the sell-off. And in the chart below showing the net transfer volume, over $650 million of Tether was moved onto exchanges Thursday. So Thursday is the day after Elon tweeted that stuff. So Tether does not always signal instant buys, but capital is on exchanges waiting to be deployed. So again, just very quickly, you guys, I'm going to check the chat. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. I'm trying to provide as much value as possible. I'm not just trying to sit here and talk to you, even though I appreciate every single one of you. But as a viewer, I know that I would enjoy, just straight up value. But, this is also a good way for me to get to know you guys and gals as well. So Matic looking great. More platforms are coming in. I do admit I do need to do more due diligence on that. I have heard of it. What are your guys' thoughts about Algo? What are your guys' thoughts about, the next meme coin? What are your thoughts about SafeMoon? I think that's a straight up scam, in my personal opinion. I think it's just Ponzi land over there. But is that something that you're willing to put up your dollars into and also your morals, if you will? Because remember, it is a zero-sum game. Your gain is someone else's loss. Or maybe I just sound like a boomer or a churchgoer. I don't know. Charles Cardano did a video on how Elon can remake Dogecoin into useful coin. Cardano seems a smart bet. Yes, I personally hold Cardano. I personally hold Ethereum. I personally hold Bitcoin. As always, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist just because I'm all about fixing the money. When you fix the money, you fix the world. So let's take a look at this. Over $650 million of Tether was moved onto exchanges Thursday. Tether does not always signal instant buys, but capital is on exchanges waiting to be deployed. So if you don't know what Tether is simply just a stable coin. It is almost like designed to mimic, one US dollar or one type of fiat currency that it's, quote unquote, backed by. Okay. This guy's going, what's your wristwatch? Today I got the G-Shock. I don't know if you can see that. I love the G-Shock. It's solar powered. I didn't take this thing out of storage for months, and it works right away. It works off radio signals, so it's always accurate. Do more videos about the Roth IRA. I just had a consulting call with one of my clients about the Roth IRA. How would you purchase Bitcoin as a small investor? So I have a video called How to Buy and Store Bitcoin Safely. I personally use Coinbase Pro. There's other exchanges. There's Kraken. There's Binance. There's a million other exchanges where you can buy Bitcoin. However, sorry, I was reading this one paid for chat. However, you can also mine Bitcoin, you guys. The problem with exchanges is that most of them are following KYC, which is know your customer, which basically means that everyone knows who you are. So they know that Marco has X amount of Bitcoin that he just bought, and it's being transferred to this wallet, meaning they know where my Bitcoin is going. Now, if you mine your own Bitcoin using like a mining pool, like Slush Pool, for example, you can get non-KYC Bitcoin, non-know your customer Bitcoin. So what that allows you to do is, you can move Bitcoin to an anonymous wallet, and good luck with the IRS if they're trying to hit you with capital gains taxes. So that's just something to consider. So this guy's saying Ethereum versus Bitcoin. In my personal opinion, that is apples and oranges, you guys. So while I'm talking like this, I'll just leave this up right here. So Ethereum versus Bitcoin, that's apples and elephants. They're not even remotely close to being the same thing. The technology, the pre-mining, the non-consensus with Ethereum. The DeFi is interesting, and if you look at this, it's going to take me a while to find this, but the St. Louis Fed, let me see if I can just Google this. St. Louis Fed, Ethereum. Let's see if I can find this. So this is when you know that the coin that you're investing in is basically going to be used as essentially central banking 2.0, right? So this was literally a tweet from the St. Louis Fed. So decentralized finance uses smart contracts on top of a blockchain. Read new research to learn how that all works and how DeFi has unleashed a wave of innovation in the financial industry. So if you look at the settlement layer, this is the big case for Bitcoiners, right? Bitcoiners are assuming or hoping that Bitcoin becomes the settlement layer. So historically, the layer one of money, and if you want to read a good book about this, it's called Layered Money. Shout out to Nick Badia. I had him on my podcast, The Whiteboard Finance Show. If you haven't subscribed to The Whiteboard Finance Show, my second channel, I highly recommend you do that. I'm interviewing people that I have no business interviewing. These are authors, entrepreneurs, multimillionaires, people that are YouTubers, people that are big brains, like way smarter than I am. And Nick is an author of Layered Money. He's traditionally a bond guy that came from the bond market. And basically, you can see here what he has to say about this. So the settlement layer, this is the St. Louis Fed's tweet. You have the native protocol asset, which in this case would be Ethereum. You have the Ethereum blockchain. And then the asset layer would be the fungible tokens, the non-fungible tokens. Then you have the protocol layer, which is the exchange, the lending, the derivatives, the asset management. You have the application layer. And then you have the aggregation layer, okay? So when you swipe your credit card, Marco made me more money than any college professor. That's right, dude. Hey, guys, let's get these numbers back up. I'm seeing a little bit of a drop-off. No, don't sell your Bitcoin. What I meant to say was share this video. Sorry, I'm trying to read chats and talk at the same time. Yeah, Aaron Cooper, shout out Aaron. Thank you so much for the live chat donation. I really appreciate that, buddy. Layered Money is an excellent read. So the issue that I have with a lot of these like shitcoiners and these YouTubers that are just getting into crypto, I'd say most of them, they don't know what they're talking about. They're good at regurgitating talking points, but they didn't really dig deep and read all the books and understand the technology behind what they're talking about. So just be very wary of who you're getting your information from, me included. I'll always tell you whether I'm speaking intelligently about something or if I can't or if I don't. Otherwise, I won't talk about it. So when you read Layered Money, you'll understand how money works. So if you look at it historically, gold was typically the base layer money, right? And then from gold, you had banknotes. So it used to be US dollars that were backed by gold. Then in 1971, we got off the gold standard, which was the next layer. And then you have credit cards, then you have PayPal, then you have things built on top of all these different layers, right? So that's similar to what this is explaining. So the reason I'm telling you all this is because the reason I own Ethereum, even though I'm not, the biggest fan of it, is because I think that they're going to see mass adoption if you have the St. Louis Fed tweeting about it, for example. Okay, so I'm a little bit all over the place. Let's just do a price check real quick to kind of restart the chat. Shout out to everyone that is joining the chat now. Please share this video on your social media. Please subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't for my channel. I don't put out a lot of content. I put out maybe 1 or 2 videos a week, if that. But the content that I do put out, I do to help bring value to your life. I'm a big believer in karma, and I feel that the stuff that you put out to other people, if that benefits them, then whatever this is, the matrix, the universe, God, Mother Nature, I know you're not supposed to talk about stuff like this, but I think that it will always reward you, okay? So check out my channel if you haven't already. So if we do a quick price check, you can see that Bitcoin is climbing back up to 39,000 from its low of 30,000 earlier today. Ethereum is still down 17% in the last 24 hours. Binance Coin, I'm not going to talk about. Cardano is down 13%. Doge. Doge is so funny, dude. I'm trying to get into the brain of your average investor. So when you see Elon Musk tweet about something like a Doge, for example, are you simply buying because of greater fool theory, or do you genuinely believe that like Doge will become, useful or, part of people's everyday lives? So I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm genuinely trying to understand, the mind of, investors, speculators, gamblers, whatever you want to call yourselves. So let's see, Marco, it seems so obvious that crypto will only go up long term, that it feels too good to be true, especially after today. What do you think? To that, I say zoom out, dude. All you need to do is zoom out. If you go back to, let's just use Bitcoin as an example. So I started dollar cost averaging in Bitcoin about 1.5 years ago. Let's see if I can find it. So here's March. It was basically like mid-late 2019. You can see I was buying right around here, like 7,000. I bought the dip hard right around, when it was 4,800, 5,000, and I've kept buying ever since. So all you got to do is zoom out. So if you look at like the 1 year, you're still up 300% if you bought at like 9 grand or 10 grand, okay? And that's just Bitcoin. Look at some other coins. Like I bought Ethereum back in November for like $400, even less than that. So if you go here and take a look at this, I was buying right around here, you guys, right around $400. You'd be up, let's see, like close to 1,100% if you're buying at 200, right? So all you got to do is zoom out. I always believe in the moniker, when in doubt, zoom out, okay? But that is what it is. So let's see the responses to your guys' question of Doge, of why you buy something like that. Like Doge for a quick buck. Let me make money off stupid people. Doge will be the next US dollar. If Doge becomes the next US dollar, I will eat my eggplant emoji. I will eat my eggplant emoji if Doge becomes the next US dollar. Don't quote me on that. All right, let me hit this Tazo T real quick. People are really stupid, Marco. They pretend to understand Doge and crypto, but won't take the time to read about it. Dude, part of me just wishes I turned into a shitcoiner, like a shitcoin YouTuber, like a shit-tuber. Sorry for swearing. It's just a phrase that I'm used to saying now, where it's like, you just start like making these videos about stuff that you don't really understand to ride trends and waves. We saw it with the stimulus videos. We saw it with AMC. We saw it with, crypto now. It's kind of like, is this really what you're like focused on, or are you trying to make these videos for views? So excuse me, I digress. Okay, so do you think Cardano will be at the same value as Ethereum? So it all depends on adoption. You guys got to look at things, always look at market cap. So in my personal opinion, I always look at market cap. So the way I look at Bitcoin, and I apologize, I know I've talked about Bitcoin a lot on this stream. It's just the thing that I understand very well at this point. If you look at market cap, right now Bitcoin's market cap, you can see right here where my cursor is 739 billion, right? So to put things into perspective, if Bitcoin, let's just say it was $1 trillion, right? Just for easy numbers, that's close to like 50,000 a Bitcoin or so. So if Bitcoin is $1 trillion, if you see Bitcoin overtaking gold in market cap, gold is $11 trillion. The worldwide value of gold is anywhere from $10 to $11 trillion. That would mean Bitcoin would go up 10 to 11x from here in nominal price, right? That's just common sense. That's 1 trillion times 11, right? Which would make this 390,000 a Bitcoin, or let's call it, 500,000 a Bitcoin if we're going for 1 trillion, right? So that's the way I look at it. So if you want to bring up the argument of, do you think Cardano will, surpass Ethereum, or, et cetera, et cetera, it all depends on market cap, and it all depends on adoption. Then you can get into the argument of, what about limited supply? What about a hard cap? What about unlimited supply? Which I understand those points. But on the very fundamental, caveman analysis, back of the napkin analysis, just take a look at, market cap, right? So you can see here today, Ethereum's market cap is 323 billion. If you want to look at Cardano, for example, it's basically 1/6 of that. It's 57 billion. Okay, so that might not be an apples to apples comparison, but when looking at the individual asset, I always look at market cap and think realistically, okay, how much more can this market cap grow from here? Okay, so I've been talking my head off, you guys. Give me a second just to catch my breath, catch up on the chat. I appreciate everyone viewing this. Please share the stream. I don't know how to do it because I'm streaming live and I don't want to mess anything up. Also, give the video a thumbs up and check out my other videos, you guys. I try and provide as much value as possible in every video. So, Lubin Lewis, thank you so much for the Canadian donation, buddy. I appreciate it. What's your take on Ethereum self-destruction strategy? So I'll be the first one to admit I have been reading about this lately, but I still can't speak intelligently on it. So I don't know enough about it to be able to give an informed opinion. I could sit here and pretend to, give you an informed opinion, but my understanding about that is sophomoric at best right now. This guy's asking me if I bought ADA today. Bro, buy the dip, bro. I always buy the dip because think about it this way. Another thing I wanted to talk about earlier in the stream is time horizon. So when I was talking about lettuce hands or paper hands or very weak hands that are selling everything based on a simple tweet by a billionaire or, FUD coming out of China, that is simply not the way to invest because you didn't do your due diligence. You have to understand what you're holding. So the reason I'm saying buy the dip is because overall, I feel that the crypto market in general is going to grow. It has to grow. If you look at money has been broken for about 40 years now, right? We have an unlimited supply on US dollars, and we're just promoting degeneracy, in my personal opinion. That's how the way the world works now, but that's like saying, hey, let me go to Costco and buy stuff with this bar of gold, right? Gold used to be money. It still is money. It's hard money to some people, but we all use fiat for daily transactions. I think crypto is simply going to take what money is today and be applied to ultra specific use cases, right? So if you look at like DeFi, Ethereum, that's going to be applied for specific use cases. If you look at Bitcoin, that may become gold 2.0, a store of wealth, right? Or a store of value, a digital store of value. If you look at Cardano with proof of stake, supplying or showing that you have the supply to be able to prove that price, I think all these things have certain use cases, right? That's why I'm personally not a poop coiner, like these doges and stuff. I did invest a little bit just for fun. To me, that's the equivalent of gambling. But when it comes to tokens or coins with actual use cases, those are the ones that you want to look into and peel back more layers of the onion. So we're hitting 1,600 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for everyone watching this. Right now, I just have a Coinbase Pro chart. You can see the wall right here kind of growing. So when you break down these walls, that means the price is going higher. This is the open orders. These are the fills, right? So let's see here. So this was that St. Louis Fed chart of basically money being layered. Paul Bryan, thanks for the hair care advice. My pleasure, bro. All right, so let's dig a little bit deeper into the stuff that I liked. So when I like things on Twitter, I'm not necessarily liking them because I literally like them or agree with them. I'm liking them because it's almost like a bookmark for me, right? So you can see here why this man have to quit his job, though. Let me know if you can hear this, you guys.
I just realized they only give you 60 seconds. Yo, TikTok. You guys, yeah, so I quit my job. I put everything on Bitcoin. I check the price
Let me know if you
daily,
can hear this.
and I just want to say it's weird. It's weird becoming rich. Like, I saved up a good middle class chunk of money. I withdrew my IRAs. I withdrew everything. Took penalties. I didn't give a shit.
Wrecked.
Like,
Hey, absolutely do not do this. Guys, like liquidating your IRA, stuff like that. You need to think of your portfolio construction, your asset allocation as pillars and as a pie, okay? Do not go into your emergency fund to buy poop coin, okay? Do not do that. That's terrible. Do not liquidate your Roth IRA to buy Dogecoin, right? If you have a certain number of dollars set aside to be able to invest in these things, that's when you do it. Okay, do not liquidate certain things that are meant for certain things because you want to chase something with FOMO. Okay,
I'm not going to pay my taxes on time. Fuck the government. You know what I mean? Like, everything is riding on Bitcoin. Like, I'm Bitcoin rich and fiat poor. So let me take a look at the price before this fucker ends. I usually don't check this that much. Oh, shit. I don't want it in the Uruguayan peso. Okay, 48,734. Pretty solid.
Okay, so this came out. And TikTok investors, they're a hilarious account that I follow online. So why'd this man have to quit his job though? And then you can see the reply. The other tweets are so funny to this stuff. But so anyway, what I was telling you guys is when I like things on Twitter, I'm not literally liking them because I literally like them. I'm liking them to use it as a bookmark. And I know you can bookmark tweets, but honestly, this is just much easier for me. So you can see here that Kathy Wood just predicted $500,000 Bitcoin. This was at 11 o'clock this morning Eastern Standard Time. This guy goes, my Roth IRA was trash, so I now doubled my coins. Guys, this stuff runs in cycles, guys, okay? You have to realize the crypto market is typically on a 4-year cycle. You have to remember that. So the peak of this cycle was typically supposed to be in December of this year, December of 2021, and then you have, kind of sideways action, or if not, downward action, and then, excuse me, this Tazo T's hitting, dude. I don't know what they put in this, but I'm burping up a storm. Basically, after that, the next 3 years are supposed to be sideways or downward trending. So if I move forward to my other tweets, you can see here, the next one was a lot of shit financial TikTok videos circulating around. A lot of these are conversations with my fans. But if you look at this, the halving, so you can see Bitcoin after the third halving. This is pretty interesting. We are basically where we were at in 2017. So if I zoom out so you can see the timeline, you can see that this cycle, the average growth is added for reference, currently 372 days after the halving. Bitcoin is at 37,528. So if you look at on a logarithmic scale, the y-axis is price, 10, 20, 50, 100 grand. If you look at the x-axis, this is simply time, right? So you can see in July where it is. You can see in October, January, and now we're dipping again. So it's almost mimicking this cycle right here, okay? So, but obviously the trend has been up, and you can see Plan B's stock to flow target at $288,000. You can see Bitcoin 115K market cap of Apple, and you can see the market size of physical gold. I just talked about this. This is Bitcoin at $550,000, okay? So if you guys aren't familiar with Plan B and his stock to flow model, whoa. Come on, there we go. If you're not familiar with the stock to flow model, I highly recommend you take a look at this, you guys. Also, the stream is dipping a little bit. We're at almost 1,700,000 viewers, which is awesome. Please share it and please send it to your buddies. This guy goes, I bought at 60K. I am fudged. No, dude, just trust me. Just watch this. So you have to realize that Bitcoin, everything is programmed into it, okay? It is literally number go up technology. And I'm not shilling Bitcoin. I'm just telling you the stuff that I've looked at in the past. So if you look at the stock to flow ratio, you can see here, sorry, I know my face is kind of covering it up a little bit, but I'll try and zoom in just a bit. So on the left axis, on the y-axis over here, you can see the price of Bitcoin. The top is $1 million, the bottom is 1 cent. On the other y-axis, the right y-axis, you can see days until the next halving. So if you guys know what the halving is, it's simply when the supply, the reward of the blocks to the miners gets cut in half. So it used to be 50, then 25, then 12 and a half, 6 point, whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the next halving is going to happen right around April 21st of 2024. So I have a video on this. I did a video on the last halving, and I said, hey, I'm going to be laughing when this price explodes, and you can see what Bitcoin did since the last halving. Okay, so if you look at this color right here, this is days until the next halving. Okay, this is the cycle. So if you look at the cycles, you can see once the halving is right about to happen, or when it has happened, it is blue. So if you look at, sorry, I'll move. I know I'm not showing the chart, but just to show you this right here, if you look at blue, that's when the halving happened. Okay. So if you look at this, the halving happened right around here, November 13th of 2012. Look at the price. It exploded. Okay. And then it cools off. Look at the blue. Halving happens. Look at the price. It exploded. This was the last cycle. This was in 2017. If you look at the blue, this is when I made my video in basically March, okay? This was actually during the bear market, This is March of 2020, and then look at the price. It exploded. So what is this blue line? This is what the stock to flow actually has the price of Bitcoin at. We are supposed to see $100,000 Bitcoin in August of 2021, and we're supposed to see the peak of this cycle basically in December. So if you've never seen the stock to flow chart right here, I highly recommend that you study it. Basically, the stock to flow is what was used historically in determining the stock to flow of gold. So stock is all the gold in the world. Stock is all the Bitcoin in existence, right? The flow is how many more ounces of gold are coming onto the market every day. The flow of Bitcoin is how many more Bitcoin are coming onto the market every day. That's what this chart shows. It's the stock to flow ratio. Okay, so let's restart the chat here just with some prices. I'm going to refresh. So if you've learned anything from this video, check out the stock to flow ratio. I think it's pretty interesting. And remember, guys, all charts are wrong, but some are useful. Let me repeat that. All charts are wrong, but some are useful. So let's take a look at the chat. What do we got here, you guys? You guys are on Coke. What? How do you even get that from this stream, dude? These are funny, man. Okay, let's see here. Screen resolution at 240p. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, why is the connection is good? Is the resolution really bad for anyone else, you guys? I just want to know because I'm trying to understand. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these chats here, you guys. So is ETH a buy? Prediction of Doge. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the settings to the bit rate. Hopefully this doesn't destroy the stream, but I'm going to do it real quick. You know what? I can't do it while I'm on the stream, you guys. My bad. Actually, wait. Let's do this. Okay, so I bumped it up. So let's see if the stream actually improves. Resolution is good. Okay, so the resolution is... so he's saying the resolution is bad. Some people are saying it's good. I apologize. I changed something in the back end of my software, so hopefully it improves it. Okay, so to continue with value, let's see what we got here. So this is after the halving. That's what we talked about. What do we got here? So how do you feel about this tweet right here? So BlockFi is insolvent. So I don't know if this is the exact truth, but I don't know if you guys heard about this. BlockFi was actually rewarding people instead of with interest with a stable coin. So if you don't know how BlockFi works, BlockFi is where you basically stake your Bitcoin. So think of it like a high yield savings account. So when you stake your Bitcoin, you're guaranteed a certain rate of return in terms of interest, right? See, people are saying, why is it so blurry? Okay, so you have to select the resolution manually, and it's good. Resolution was good all the time. Okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so with BlockFi, basically you're giving up your Bitcoin in order to stake it, so people can make bets against it, use it as collateral for futures trades, things like that, right? So what happened was they're supposed to reward you in a stable coin or with US dollars or the equivalent of that, right, at the rate of a certain percent. So think of it like a high yield savings account. So what they did on accident is they started giving people Bitcoin as the reward. So I know people personally out of my group of friends. I'm in a group chat. My buddy, or excuse me, my buddy's friend got 5 Bitcoin sent to him on accident by BlockFi, and now they're trying to scramble and get it back, right? But if you all know Bitcoin, there's only 21 million ever. Those Bitcoin now belong to someone else. So now imagine if you staked your precious Bitcoin that you've been saving up for years or weeks or investing thousands of dollars. Oh, here we go. I think I got an excellent connection now, you guys. And you've staked this Bitcoin in order to get 6% back. Okay, 6% is nothing in this market. Okay, I'm up hundreds of percent, if not 4 figures. And giving up your precious Bitcoin in order to get 6% return. So that's why I've never recommended staking your money like that unless you're willing to take on the risk. In my opinion, 6% risk or 6% reward is not worth the risk. That makes no sense to me. Why would I give up an asymmetric bet with the potential of losing it for 6%? And these people are now getting wrecked, okay? So Coinbase was down earlier this morning, so I tweeted, this is pretty funny. I thought it was funny. I think all my tweets are funny, but again, they're my tweets. So death, taxes, and Coinbase going down. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, guys, please give me a little boost. I would appreciate it. So Liam says, Marco, what do you think about the predictions in your Bitcoin halving video? I think I was dead on the money because I basically said in that video that Bitcoin is going to skyrocket. It typically has after every halving. And I made a lot of people a lot of money, okay? This guy goes, stop breathing on screen. I'm dying here, bro. I'm going 100 miles an hour. I got Tazo tea coming out of my ears, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Where's that face of Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street where he's like, hey, am I breathing like a fat person right now? Let me know. So this guy goes, what's your opinion on dollar cost averaging in index versus dollar cost averaging on crypto? I've been dollar cost averaging in Bitcoin for 1.5 years now. I think dollar cost averaging is the way to invest, period, in any type of investment overall for your stable, asset allocation. If you want to bet and make bets on, Peloton and, Palantir and things like that, I've done that in the past and made money on it. But for the most part, I definitely believe in dollar cost averaging if you are a long-term disciplined investor. Now, if you're a degenerate gambler and you just want to FOMO into shitcoins, then yeah, I wouldn't dollar cost average into a shitcoin. Okay, Coinbase is lying to people. This guy goes, just want to say I sincerely appreciate your content. New investor here in your stock market for beginners video provided so much valuable information. You're a gem. Thank you so much, dude. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's go back into some of the stuff that I was liking. I'm gonna get rid of a lot of this stuff, you guys. Capitulation. Okay, so if I go to the stuff that I liked, I'm gonna keep going down. You can see here, Michael Saylor, Mega Chad, Giga Chad Michael Saylor, 4 hours ago tweeted, I'm not selling. So he personally, between MicroStrategy, his company, and basically his personal holdings, he has 111,000 Bitcoin. So let that sink in. He has 111,000 Bitcoin. So this guy goes, if I remember correctly, you said $533,000 Bitcoin by August this year. In that video, I said some people were saying that. I clearly clarified in the video that that's just speculation. But again, that's simply just surpassing gold. If it hits 11 trillion market cap, we can easily see $500,000 Bitcoin. So this is pretty funny. A beach in the 70s, not one fat body. Okay. So The Fourth Turning, I highly recommend this book if you haven't read it already. Basically, it is a book talking about the different types of cycles in society. And right now, we're in the society where people aren't really trusting institutions. They're not trusting our politicians. They're not trusting a lot of stuff. So this is a funny tweet. So these scam coins are getting crazy. Someone just shilled me 27 trillion in circulation, unlimited supply cap, only one node, 25% of supply minted in the last 6 months, 1% of holders own 30%. Joking, that's the US dollar. So I thought that was pretty funny. Let me catch up on some of these chats, you guys. Okay. Marco, you've provided a wealth of information. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Doge to the moon. What time is it there? Here it's okay, Europe. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so if you're looking at England, I'm 5 hours earlier than England, um, or later, I guess. I mean, right now it's 2:40 or 2:10 p.m. Okay. So let's keep this moving, you guys. So this picture is pretty interesting. Elon Musk. So what are your guys' thoughts about Elon Musk? I'm going to leave this up on the screen for you guys that obviously know this is Ghislaine Maxwell. She's with the pedophile ring with Epstein and all them. She basically ran that pedophile ring. What do you think of Elon Musk in general? Some people think he's a genius. Some people think he's a charlatan. I'm somewhere in the middle, to be quite honest. I think he's a genius, but I think he's also good at manipulating things. So I'm not some weird nerd that's going to defend Elon Musk and everything he does. But basically, I just want to hear your thoughts on Elon Musk in the chat here. Okay, I did a video on inflation. Okay, so let's get back to crypto. So you can see here just a quick little price check. I'm going to refresh this. And I also want to provide a little bit more value with this email. I feel like I never finished this email right here. So short-term hodler SOPR reset to its lowest it's been this entire bull run. This means the market was taking losses on aggregate. This metric has timed each major bottom throughout the bull run. Along with funding rates going negative, signals to me that we are very close to the bottom if we have not reached one already. So remember, this article was on the 14th, okay? So you fast forward 5 days later. That's why it's interesting to research analysis that was done before things happen. So obviously before this mad sell-off because of China FUD, because of Elon Musk tweets, you can see that this person, which is Will Clemente, said we're close to the bottom if we have not reached one already. This is when the price was basically, I believe this was like in the 40,000s or high 40,000s, low 50s, okay? As just mentioned, funding rates went negative Wednesday night for the first time in almost a month. This means traders were seeking to go short on aggregate and shorts began funding longs. Funding rates are a good way to gauge sentiment of traders. Negative funding rates show they were scared to go long on aggregate. However, funding rates came back rather quickly, unlike anything I've ever seen in previous corrections. So this is pretty interesting, you guys. I would study this chart if I were you. Let me zoom out just a little bit so I'm not covering the chart itself. But again, all this stuff is coming from Glassnode, which is a great service for analyzing on-chain analytics. Let's see here. So futures perpetual funding rate. So you can see that's in green. You look at futures perpetual funding rate, which is negative, okay? All exchanges. And then you can see the price in gray down here. So when the price is up, you can see the perpetual funding rate is green. When the price is down, the perpetual funding rate goes negative. Okay, that's a telling sign right there. So I highly recommend you check out this chart or maybe pause the video later. So please share this stream with everyone you know. I haven't done a stream in a long time, you guys. So I just don't know how to share this. I know I sound like a boomer. Wait, here's a button. Oh, share. Let's go. Let's go. I got the share button. Oh, I'm sharing this right now. I'm sharing this right now, you guys. Sorry, I don't want to be rude or like self-promoting, but I'm sharing this right now. Join my live stream now. 1,820 plus people learning live. Let's go. Hold on, I'm not a YouTuber if I don't use all these emojis, you guys. Hold on, where's the rocket ships? Where's the rocket? Yeah. To me, that shit's so corny, dude. Rocket ships and flames and stuff, but whatever. All right, so let's go back to this. Some silver lining of the event is that leveraged traders getting wiped out. Roughly $1.8 billion of futures open interest was wiped out. This is always healthy for the market as price is then more influenced by organic spot buying and not speculation. So this is basically showing in orange or tan, whatever this color is the futures open interest, okay? And then you can see the price going down. So what Will is trying to say here in his analysis is that some of this was speculation, some of this is more inclined with what the price is actually doing. So despite the short-term price action, this still does not change broader on-chain trends for this cycle. One that we have not discussed yet in previous letters